Hello, welcome to Waypoint Survival. Today, let's talk about a survival belt kit. When you're talking about putting together a survival kit, one of the first things you always consider is what kind of a container am I going to carry it in. And some people will use a coffee can with a snap-on lid, of course backpacks, and I already demonstrated an Altoids mini tin survival kit, and of course they have limited use because of the very small amount of gear that you can take with you. For this belt kit, which I put together some years ago, I just selected an Outdoor Products belt kit, bought it at Walmart, and then I just attached a neoprene water bottle holder. This just holds a standard half-liter 16.9 ounce water bottle. I'll give you a close-up of that. So this is what it looks like. Again, it's just a water bottle, attaches with a snap to this loop here, and I have quite a bit of gear packed in here. So let's break it down and get to what's actually in this kit. So for this kit, what I like about it, the way it's put together, is you can actually unsnap this portion here for the water bottle, and it actually has a loop that you can put on your belt, or you can again attach it to something with this snap like I had it, and it does come with a cord lock so you can tighten it down and carry it more securely that way. So we'll set this over to the side. So on these three main zippers, in the very front one, I have some medical and hygiene products. First of all, I have this toothbrush which fits inside of this case. It's got a couple of holes to help it dry. And of course, if you've never used one of these, you do it like that for the handle, and that just helps keep it clean. I don't have any toothpaste because you can always use charcoal from your fire. I do have a small tube of Chapfix chapstick. I have a tampon, which is really great for plugging wounds that are caused by holes. In particular, if you fall onto a stub or you're punctured by a limb. A lot of people will use these in the military for gunshot wounds, but anytime you have something that's a hole that needs to be plugged, of course they're very absorbent, they're very hygienic and sealed. I have a small roll of medical tape. In this side I have just a compressed bandage, and it's just a very simple 37 by 37 by 52 inches. It's a standard bandage. Many of you have seen those in various kits. And then I also have right here some compressed gauze, and that's super important because again when you get a bad bleeding wound, you're going to need something to really absorb a lot of the blood and keep it clean. Then I have some Silox, some blood clotting agent. I also carry a small pair of scissors and a little case, and that's very handy for snipping away or cleaning out flesh, or cutting away at a wound, or perhaps a piece of cloth. I have a small towel here that rehydrates and gets bigger. It's a compressed towel. A little tiny tube of crazy glue, which of course is cyanocrylate, which can be used for gluing wounds back together. It's basically super glue. And then I have a small pack of ibuprofen. And that completes that front pocket. There is a small mesh pocket here, but it's not secure, so I just don't keep anything in there. On the very back, there is another zipper, and in this I carry, it's a snap-on for my mini light. Here's a close-up, and of course it is designed for you to be able to put on the brim. Then I have a really neat knife and spoon combination, and this folds open like this. I'm not a huge fan of sporks, but this one is super lightweight and it actually comes apart. And so you have a can opener here, and the blade does lock. And then this is your knife. So here I have a knife and spoon combo, and it slides together and it weighs very little. I like this as it's a very compact part of my kit, and of course you want to put this together before these pins slide in like this. It's a lot easier to do when you're not trying to do it on camera. and like this, and that folds down, and then with the knife and the spoon locked together, it won't come apart. So this is just a really nifty little tool for eating. The next item that I have in this pocket is just a small plastic bag with 16 penny nails. And that's great for all kinds of projects, from making spears and gigs to building shelter and putting up gear. I also have in the back here a couple of packets of tea. I need to warm something up, and that's a great option, especially if I need to warm me up. Alright, I also have here in the back, this is something you don't see a lot of, but it's actually a miniature harmonica. And I do play harmonica a little bit, but to give you a listen to it. So, just something to entertain me, and it is, as you can see, super small. It's made in Germany, and it's just a great, neat little piece to entertain myself if I'm in a survival situation. In the middle zipper pouch is where I carry the bulk of my gear. I have a nice hank of black paracord. I have a compass on a paracord bracelet, and of course you can help keep direction with that. I have a very nice diamond stone inside of a leather pouch. I also have another knife sharpener here, made by Ready Edge, and just a couple of pieces of carbide. You drag the blade through it that way. I have an emergency whistle right here on this lanyard, which is connected to the cord lock. And then on this side, I have this very, very unique knife made by Boker. Here's a close-up of the knife. It's just a frame type knife, and it comes with a holder, a type of a sheath. It's a kind of an open sheath that snaps in, and then it has a spring clip on the back, so you can attach it to your belt or wear it even on your clothes. You can attach it like so if you really needed to, but I just use it as generally as a neck knife. That's why it's on the lanyard. The next item that we have is a emergency water filter straw made by Frontier, and this is the one that's good for 50 gallons, and most of you are probably familiar with this. You just attach the straw here, put it down into a mud puddle or a creek or a stream, and you drink out of it, and like I said, it's good for up to 50 gallons. Then I have a survival poncho made by the Soul People. Survive outdoors longer, and this is just a super lightweight small poncho, which of course can be used as shelter as well as keeping you dry in the rain. In a Ziploc bag here, just try to keep things dry, I have a Princeton Tech fuel and this headlamp with the 3 batteries in a separate Ziploc bag just in case they would rupture or burst. I don't want it to destroy my light, but it's good for about 150 hours on low. In this side, I have a heavy-duty wire saw. It's made by Best Glide, and so often, so many of the wire saws are very cheap. This wire saw is super heavy-duty, and it actually has a feature that you don't find on many of them. It has a set screw which tightens this, so if you would happen to break your wire, the issue with most of these wire saws is the rings break or come off of them, and then they're useless. With this, if it does break at this juncture point, you can just open the set screw here, slide it in farther, tighten it back down, and you have your saw again. Of course, this can be used to make a bow saw, as well as many other types of saws that you can use to cut and pull. And like I said, this is sold by Best Glide, but it's a really neat saw to have in your survival kit if you don't have room for a larger folding saw. I also carry a survival blanket, And this is the sole large size, again made by the same company as the poncho, but this is big enough for 1 to 2 people, and so it is very large. Now let me see if it's got the size listed on here. It's 5 foot by 8 foot, or 152 centimeters by 244 centimeters. So these two together, I have the poncho, and then I have a survival emergency blanket, and it actually has on the back 4 different configurations as a gear cover for first aid, to make a tent type shelter, and then also you could use it for a ground tarp. Of course, there's a lot of things you can use this for, coupled with the paracord. There is a zipper pocket inside. In the zipper pocket, I carry a green Bic lighter. It doesn't have to be green, could be any color. I just haven't put the green one in there. I have a comb, and it's not because I'm vain, but because nits and ticks and various other things that get stuck in your hair. Hygiene is a very, very important part of survival, just like the toothbrush. And I think these are some of the things that people neglect to carry in their kits. So a comb is very nice to have. I also carry in here an outdoor patch to repel mosquitoes. Give you an idea there what it looks like. And it's really great. You just put it on and they'll repel insects, mosquitoes, other biting insects for up to 36 hours, and it's all natural. Last but not least, I have a full survival kit that I made in this waterproof case. Put the word survival on there, and this is a complete survival kit, and it is designed to be a standalone case, because if I have these other resources that are on the table behind me, I can leave those at camp, I can put this in my pocket, and then I can go away and do foraging, exploring, figure out my territory if I'm in a survival situation. Inside is a full complement of survival gear. So I have Band-Aids taped to the top, I have extra batteries here for my light. This is the light that snaps onto my attachment that goes onto my hat that I showed you earlier. A couple more nails and some duct tape. A pencil for making notes. Several of these fire starting tinders, and in one of them I put a curved needle. This is just a curved sewing needle, but it's great for suturing or stitching up wounds. I'll put these over to the side here. I'll try to keep this open so you can see it. I have another backup compass. I have a very small vial of potable aqua water purification tablets. I have another heavy-duty wire saw. Not as good as the other one, but again, this is my backup kit. Small pair of tweezers from a Swiss Army knife. I have a small fluorescent bobber. And I know I can make a bobber out of other things, but it's really nice to have one already made. You can just go with it. I have a small spool here of 80-pound test spider wire. Just a sewing spool filled up and then put tape around it to hold it all together. A small bit of snare wire, and I know you're not going to make a dozen snares out of this. You might make 1 or 2, but this is also good for shelter building, and it's also good if you want to suspend something over your fire and you don't want it to melt or burn through like some other kind of cordage would. I also have a small toothpick from a Swiss Army knife, a small surgical scalpel. I have a small diamond hone. It's made for sharpening hooks and various things, but you can also use this for your knife. I also have, let me move around here so I can adjust this camera just a little bit better. I also have a small fishing kit, which just has hooks and sinkers and swivels in it. I have some waterproof, windproof matches with the striker inside, taped inside of a small bag. a small ferrocerium rod with magnesium, a very small SOG knife, folding knife. Some of you have seen these. This is a SOG Fusion, and it's not a great big knife, but it's better than no knife at all. Of course, I always have multiple knives on me anyway when I'm out. I have a small screwdriver, which I need to take my light apart so that I can put the spare batteries in it. I have a large piece of heavy-duty aluminum foil. Again, this is to make a boiling or cooking container. I have the tea in the other part of the kit. Here are some Band-Aids. They're actually small wound strips. Here's some other ones, wound closures, small packet of antibiotic ointment. I have 2 alcohol prep pads, a package of Motrin. I have a folded oven bag. And you say, what is that good for? Well, you can actually pour hot water in these. They go up to about 400 degrees before they start to melt. And so this is for carrying water, and also if I've boiled water in my aluminum foil here, I can pour the hot water in this bag and fill it up. I also have a couple of pages here of Write in the Rain notebook paper that goes with my pencil so that I can leave notes or make maps of my area. I have a small Fresnel lens cut to shape. I have a mirror for signaling. This is just a piece of replacement mirror that you can buy at automotive stores. If you break your side mirrors, you can cut a piece of this with just a pair of scissors and fit it in there. And then last but not least, I have a couple of about half-sized, not very small, about half-sized brass safety pins, which can be used for hooks and cleaning out wounds and things like that. So here's a quick overview of the kit again. Of course, medical supplies. I do have 3 means of starting fires: the Bic lighter, the mini ferro rod here, and then 6 wind and waterproof matches. I have the ability to catch food and game with the snare wire, of course, and the fishing kit most of all. I have my little flashlight here, extra batteries, screwdriver for changing the batteries, the knife, extra compass, potable water, purification there, eating tools, and of course cover, shelter, tea. There isn't any food in this kit. This is more of like just a belt survival kit, and it's too small to carry a whole lot of food in, so just give you a general idea of what this is. I'll put it all back in and show you what it looks like. One more quick illustration. I showed you this clip earlier, and this is the little mini photon light. I mean, it's not very bright out here in the sunlight, but basically how it works is it goes in like this. That little pin goes in that hole and it clips in like that, and it has a switch on top so you can turn it on permanently or just an on-off switch. But then you can attach this to the brim of your hat or to any other part of your clothes. But this is a super great little light. I think it burns about 15 hours on a fresh set of batteries, and so these are fresh, and I have another set to change out. So I've got 30 hours of light in a very small space. This little light, this photon micro light, this particular model, also comes with a neck lanyard. That's a really cool little device also, and again it works the same way. Slide it in, push it down in the hole, and now you can wear it around your neck as a neck light. So if you don't want to actually attach it to the brim of your hat or to some other part of your gear, you can actually just wear it around your neck for camp chores. One other thing that I wanted to mention about this very excellent survival saw from Best Glide is that you can buy a replacement wire for it for just a little bit of money. And so it weighs nothing, takes up almost no space, and you package them together. So if this should fail me, I have a backup, and they're very easy to change out. And wire saws are pretty useful if you're careful with them. You're not going to cut down a big tree. But for simple shelter building, starting fires, and I'd say, you know, wood up to 2 or 3 inches in diameter, even a little bit bigger, but these would be great. And as long as you're careful and don't jerk them around too much, they will work excellent for a survival kit. So we've got our belt kit all packed back up, our water bottle here on the side. You wouldn't necessarily have to carry it on the front. You can carry this if you wish, just spin it around and carry it on the back. It does have adjustments here, so you can tighten it up, and they are quite long. And I don't really care for it hanging on my back. I think it tends to kind of bounce up and down when I'm walking, but it does keep it out of the way of the front side. Another really good option that I like to use in carrying this one is just to extend these straps out and snap it back together, and then carry it like this over top and in the small of my back. And when I get that adjusted for it to ride right in the small of my back like so, it seems to ride pretty well like that. And so this is a great size kit if you're just going to go out and do some day hiking, you just want to go out and practice your bushcrafting, and you want to have like a complete survival kit that covers pretty much all of your 10 C's and will help you get through a difficult time. This is James Bender for Waypoint Survival. I want to thank you for your time. A great big thank you to all of my new subscribers, and also to Mike from On Point Preparedness for mentioning me in his video last week. And I hope you found something useful in this video. And if you do, or if you have any suggestions, make sure to leave it in the comment section below. And make sure that you press that little thumbs up button, give me a like, I always appreciate that. Make sure and share, and if you haven't already, please subscribe, and we'll talk to you next time.